Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our January 30th, 2026 graduation at Guiding Eyes for the Blind. My name is Melissa Carney. I'm the Community Outreach and Graduate Support Manager here at Guiding Eyes. At my feet is my distinguished 11-year-old guide dog, Aaron, a male Labrador Retriever, and it's a pleasure to be joining all of our teams in sharing their partnership with us today. When our students found out they were coming into class, I'm sure they envisioned the possibility of there being a little snow. But I don't think anyone expected New York to drop, close to 2 feet on us. And so I have to commend our students in training for not only starting the partnership with their guide dogs and the trials and tribulations of that partnership, but also for dealing with Mother Nature and all she has to offer. It takes a tremendous amount of courage, especially for our Floridians, to cope with the amount of snow, the temperatures. Our students have had their hands full in training. We always say training at Guiding Eyes is a very memorable experience. But I think our students can agree with me that there's a few extra memories that they can take home with them, but at least they can say they survived a true New York winter. If they can handle this type of weather, I'm pretty sure they can handle anything, from having to weave around snowbanks to traversing very narrow paths, to having to watch their footing with the potential of ice, to have to deal with traffic because everyone's panicking driving in this type of weather. There's so much that they've had to accomplish in these 2 weeks alone. So I commend the students on that accomplishment. I congratulate them. I know you're all well prepared for what comes next. We're excited to hear about those journeys, and hopefully we get to hear about some warmer adventures that you're going to have as well once you return home. Thank you everyone for joining us today and celebrating in all of the accomplishments of the teams you see in front of you today. Also a huge thank you to our puppy raisers, our trainers, our volunteers, our donors, and everyone behind the scenes who makes the Guiding Eyes mission possible. With that, I'm going to turn our mic over to Rebecca Cross, Director of Donor Relations.
Thank you, Melissa. As Melissa mentioned, I'm Director of Donor Relations at Guiding Eyes. My name's Rebecca, and I have my beautiful guide dog, Kokomo, whose birthday it is today. Not still. I can't help it. As we all know, with our dogs, we're like such proud people. So I've been telling everybody all day, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to say thank you so much to all of our amazing donors who make each of these teams possible in the background, supporting us financially. Everything, of course, as we all know, is completely free to the people receiving the dogs, and everybody plays a huge role as part of the community, whether that be, puppy raising, training, volunteering with the tiny puppies or the adult dogs, donating, or all of the above. And of course, congrats to all of our amazing graduates. I have been telling everybody this entire 2 weeks how much I admire you guys for going out there in this horrible weather. Kokomo and I have not stepped out very much, so congrats. But I wanted to recognize one team. They were home trained, and the dog is special named, so I wanted to share a special message of recognition to our graduating Mia. And Mia was special named by Margie and Larry Weinreb in honor of their granddaughter, Mia. I'm told that Mia, the dog, has been described as smart, friendly, beautiful, and calm, all things that Margie has told me that the human Mia also embodies. So we are so happy for you all. Congratulations on your new partnership with Princess Mia. And thank you again to everybody for all you do to make these teams possible. I'm going to hand it off to Monica to recognize our amazing raisers.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Hi, everyone. My name is Monica Conrad. I'm a regional puppy specialist here at Guiding Eyes for the Blind, and I'm here today to recognize the puppy raisers of the dogs that you see up front. But before I do that, I want to give a big shout out to everybody up at our Canine Development Center. A lot of hands and hearts touch these puppies before they go out to their raisers. So big shout out to our genetics team who paired up moms and dads to figure out what would be the best matches to make some amazing dogs, as well as then to our whelping kennel for making sure that all of these amazing pups got out safe and sound and kept them alive and happy and healthy for the first 6 weeks of their lives, and as well to the puppy kennel for making sure that they got socialized and all of those amazing first steps along the way, as well as to all the volunteers that go up there, from our early socializers to our home socializers that take them out into their home for a couple of days. We have a lot of hands, like I said, that have touched the lives of our guide dogs before they even head out to their puppy raisers. So just to everybody up at the CDC, I always want to give a big shout out to you guys for everything you've done. And then to our puppy raisers, without you guys, we could never have so many guide dogs. So we give you guys a big shout out and say thank you so much. You have put in countless hours to make sure that your puppies learn the skills that they need, whether that's as basic as sit or being able to ask them for that heel or that close that they're going to use all the way up through their guide journey. You make sure that they learn how to behave in the house and that they know how to chew on their bones and find their toys and not gnaw on your desk chair as you're typing away when they're 8 weeks old. So you make sure that they know how to be well-behaved little citizens in your house. And with that, you know, our grads and every person thanks you for that amazing job that you've done. And then you get them out and socialized and make sure that they can be calm and confident and well-connected puppies when they're out and about. You take them as basic as around your neighborhood, all the way up to big mall outings. And each and every one of those steps helps these dogs know how to be prepared for training. Because by the time they get here, they can say, been there, done that. I've been to a grocery store. I know what to do, so I can focus on learning my new job. So you guys have put in so much effort and passion and love to get them ready for them to come into training and work with the trainers here. Without that, we can't say thank you enough. And I would be remiss to not also say a big shout out to the RPIs that have helped you guys along the way for all of their guidance to help the raisers out. Whether that's through the minor, through the major, every step along that journey, they're there to answer your questions. So with that, congratulations, raisers. Your puppies became guide dogs. And with that, we will hand out raiser certificates. So when I call your name, Stephanie has certificates for all of our raisers. So first up, raiser of Austin, Darlene Jacobs. Raisers of Irving, Shar Finkel. Raisers of Quinna, the Siebert Wright family. Raiser of Quinlan, Tamara Flincham. I'd also like to give a shout out to the raisers who aren't able to be here today. So we also have a raiser of Irving, Brandon Martinez. And then it was a big team effort for Mia that we spoke of, who was a home training. So her raisers, we have Kathleen and Tim McQuaid, the Vernon family, and Kristen Meredith. And with that, I'll pass it over to Izzy.
Hi everyone, my name is Izzy Dulesky, and I was one of the instructors who had the pleasure of working with these four amazing people in our class that you see in front of you. My partners for this class were Shannon Deere, placement specialist, and the placement manager, Stephanie Correct. Now we're going to introduce the graduates. So first up is Alberto. Alberto has come to Guiding Eyes for his first ever guide dog, a male yellow lab named Austin. Alberto is from Florida, where he lives with his family and works in the pharmaceutical industry. He likes to stay active in his community and spends much of his time volunteering. Alberto has always been a big animal lover, and he worked as a kennel assistant for a vet clinic in his undergrad and currently volunteers at a wildlife rehabilitation clinic. Alberto and Austin bonded immediately, with both of them sharing the same upbeat and carefree view on life. Alberto is looking forward to increased independence that Austin will provide him and taking Austin out running for the first time in his local park. Next up, we have Sophia. Sophia has returned to Guiding Eyes for her third guide dog, a male black lab named Quinlan. Sophia recently moved back to New York City from Seattle, where she lives with her mom and her sister. She graduated from Princeton University in 2017, and since then has been working at Meta as a user experience researcher. From day one, Sophia adored Quinlan's sweet and affectionate personality, and the two of them became best friends immediately. Once they go home, Sophia is looking forward to breezing through the busy streets of New York City with Quinlan by her side and spending all of their downtime snuggling in her apartment.
With maybe a few more clear sidewalks, right?
Yeah.
Next up, we have Martha. Martha has returned to Guiding Eyes from Arlington, Massachusetts to receive her second guide dog. She has been matched with Quinna, a female yellow lab, and the two have already formed a wonderful bond. Martha travels frequently between Massachusetts and Vermont and is looking forward to many long walks in both places, including peaceful birdwatching strolls. She enjoys staying active, running errands, visiting friends, and exploring a variety of environments, from rural roads and mountain areas to hiking trails. Quinnet will be a perfect companion for these adventures, offering both affection and steady partnership along the way. Martha is especially excited to introduce Quinna to her husband Bob and her retired guide Alvin. And then last but not least, for our group here is Amir. We've had a great time. Amir has come to Guiding Eyes from Raleigh, North Carolina to receive his first guide dog. He has been matched with Irving, a male black lab, and the two clicked right away, most likely because they're both pretty laid back and friendly guys. Amir is excited to head home with Irving to start hiking, exploring farmers markets, and walking around his community. He also plans to travel both domestically and internationally with Irving, and we can't wait to hear where these adventures take them. While Amir may be looking forward to returning to the warm weather, he is most excited to introduce Irving to his father and the rest of the family. And then we have a bio for our team that was trained at home. So Carol Edwards was matched with Mia, a yellow female Labrador. Carol resides in a Virginia suburb of Washington, D.C., where she remains an active and dedicated member of her community. She currently serves on the staff of a local church, a role that allows her to engage deeply with community activities and outreach. Carol is a long-time advocate for the vision impaired community, having spent years volunteering her time with the foundation Fighting Blindness to support their charity events. Carol and her husband Dave are Guiding Eyes for the Blind puppy raisers as well, currently raising a male yellow lab named Roger, who is 1 year old. Mia and Roger got along instantly, sometimes too well, galloping through the house, chasing one another in their downtime. Roger likes Mia so much he surrendered his bed to her shortly after arrival. When she isn't working or volunteering, Carol's world revolves around her family. She loves spending quality time with her husband and their 2 adult children. Whether they're relaxing at the beach or embarking on a new family vacation, of course, their pet dogs at home are always part of the fun. As Carol enters this new chapter, she is filled with anticipation and joy. She is looking forward to introducing Mia to her family, friends, and coworker, and is eager to see how this new partnership will enhance her busy life in the community. This team was trained at home via home training with our senior training support manager, Ben Colley.
And the dogs that were placed in this class were trained by the following instructors: Izzy Dulesky, Chrissy Vetrano, Lori Bussey, Mick Billia, Jenna Ravelli, Alyssa David, and Shannon Walsh. Now we're going to pass it on over to our graduate speakers, starting with Alberto.
Hi, everyone. To give you a first impression as a first-time guide dog, my first impression of Austin was the sheer power that this puppy has. I remember that first moment. I think I'll always remember that moment when the harness took off, and I thought for a second there they had given me a motorcycle. So with the help of all the trainers, Izzy, Shannon, Michelle, Stephanie, they helped me calibrate. They gave me a better harness. To say I enjoy cars even though I don't drive, but I now understand the clutch, the accelerator, the brake in my car. So it's just so many things. I am very excited with all the preparation, the patience, and all these little details that each one of you put into this organization to be the best team I can be with what you give. Today, love has a new definition in my book, and that's guiding us. Thank you.
All right, Sophia.
Okay, you're making me cry right
No,
now. Hi everyone, I'm Sophia. Quinlan is my third Guiding Eyes dog, and I got a little taste of what I'm guessing parents feel when they get an ultrasound and they're told they have a girl and then it's a boy, like all of a sudden, because I always got matched with the smallest females in the class, like 55 pounds, and then they bring this 73-pound cutie over, and I was not expecting it because why would it be any different this time? And but like it works so well, even though I'm super short and he's larger, he's the gentlest little boy. I'm really looking forward to working together in the craziness of New York City. My favorite thing about him is that he is always happy. If we're working, if we're just hanging out, if we're playing, sometimes, you know, we're finished crossing a street and they're supposed to wait until we say forward, but sometimes he just tries to keep walking. He's like, let's go, I got this. And I love that. And so, yeah, thank you, Guiding Eyes.
Hi, I'm Martha. Quinna has a hard act to follow. After my first guide dog, who I had for over 10 years, now retired. He retired the day I came down here, Alvin. But I knew immediately that Alvin has met his match in sweet Quinna. She is fast, which I love. Shannon described her as nose forward, tail straight out behind her like an arrow heading to her next target. And you know what? A treat. And she's motivated by food, of course, like all these guys are. I love her drive. But one of the things that most impressed me, I think, about Quinna was she conveyed through the harness and the leash that she really wants to do well. She wants to be a good guide dog. She wants to solve the problem. She wants to really do well. One of our first walks was down a residential street near here with a lot of driveways, no sidewalks, no traffic. One of our very first walks, so we barely knew each other. And we were walking down very fast, but Quinna decided to go into the first driveway, and I said, no, Quinna, forward. Oh, okay, I'll keep going. We got to the next driveway. She goes in, no, Quinna, forward. Oh, okay, I'll go. And we got to the third driveway, into the driveway. No, Quinna, forward. All right, and then she got it. And she just flew the rest of the way. We crossed the street. She flew and passed a gazillion driveways without even flinching. And I know in the first with my first dog early on, sometimes we would get to an intersection and he'd say, okay, Mom, we're going left. And I'd say, no, we're going right. And he'd say, no, we're going left. And I'd say, no, we're going right. Not Quina. You want to go right? Okay, let's go. And I really, really appreciate the fact that she really wants to do well. And I really want to say to all of you, and that goes from the breeders to the puppy raisers to the kennel staff, the vets, the trainers, the cooks, the nurses, all of you on the administration side. I want to honor you for me to be the best possible handler I can be for Quina. And for you to know that she will be loved deeply. And we will be a fantastic team, thanks to all of you.
Hi, my name is Amir. This is my first dog. And how do I follow my classmates? So technically, he's my second dog. I started off with Orlando, who might have been better paired with Alberto. Ernest, what's? I'm messing, I know his name is Alfredo. Orlando was a bit too fast-paced for me. I'm not confident walking as fast as he was, so we had to switch. And this one had a perfect pace for an old man like me. I'm hoping that he'll help me get out more because I put on some weight since I retired, and yeah, he's the stick is just wasn't working for me. With all the work all you guys did with this dog, it's really amazing how smart he is. Like the second day, he already knew where my room was, and he, like the other dogs, he decides where he wants to go sometimes. And it's up to us to no, that's not where we're going this time. So I'm perfectly happy wandering around and seeing where he ends up sometimes. But I've learned how to guide him a little bit, guided missile and get where we need to go. So thank you, Miss Shar, amazing dog. I'm not gonna cry. And everybody, Chef Rob, Craig, Shannon, Izzy, Stephanie, everybody. Melissa, Michelle, my name's everybody. Thank you very much. This is going to be an experience. I can't wait. They're talking about we're going to have a storm of the century in Raleigh, 3 inches of snow, and they're already talking about shutting down the airport. So that might be fun. Camping out, we start camping in the airport. So we shall see. Thank you, everybody.
All right, now we're gonna make things official and hand out the graduation certificates. First up is Alberto and Austin. Sophia and Quinlan. Martha and Quina. And Amir and Irving. All right, now I'm going to hand things over to our CEO, Chris Perry, for the closing remarks.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you all for coming here today. This graduation is made even more special by your presence, so thank you for taking the time to join us. To our graduates, it seems like just yesterday we were welcoming you all to our campus, and now, unfortunately, our time with you is drawing to an end. I do just want to impress upon you that there's a whole team of people here standing ready to support you once you get home. We're just a phone call away, okay? There's also something else I need to share with you. It's very important that you know this, and that is we give our guide dogs here at Guiding Eyes a special ingredient, okay? From the time they're born in our whelping kennel and socialized in the first 8 weeks of their lives to human beings, they're given this ingredient by all of our staff. And then when the dogs go to our puppy raisers. For a year and a half, our puppy raisers infused the dogs with this ingredient. And then when the dogs come back here to our training kennel, and they're here with us for 16 weeks, our veterinarian teams, our kennel team, and all of our trainers infuse the dogs with this ingredient. This ingredient is just as vital to our dogs' health and well-being as food and water. And best of all, this ingredient is absolutely free. Alberto touched on it. The ingredient I'm talking about is love.
Yeah.
So you're not just getting a guide dog from Guiding Eyes, you're getting a little ambassador of love. And so we encourage you, give your dog some love every day. They thrive on it. They'll make a better guide for you if you do that. We wish you all the very best of success with your new guides. Again, keep in touch with us. Don't forget about your friends here at Guiding Eyes. Thank you.